Kate, how would you have known that?
Because he just said it. He just said it.
Brian, I told you not to be typing.
I didn't type anything. I was reading.
You're not supposed to be reading.
You're not supposed to be reading.
Hey Phil, I was looking at the artwork behind you, and I noticed right behind your chair there's a picture of Sarah Huckabee Sanders.
Yeah, that's Billy Butcherson. I think that one, right?
What's that?
Oh
no, I was talking to Phil from Planet Doom.
Oh.
No one's talking to you, man.
Planet Doom would be great.
A long show already.
Anyways, we're live here on Hunter's Hangout. Woo, yeah.
Great day.
Hey, we're sitting here on season 6, episode 1. Oh my God, it's been so long. It's been a long wait for us to get back on, and I mean, it seems like everybody's pretty excited. We got some amazing haunters that we're going to show. And then we also have Richard over here that just decided to sit in. I don't know why, but
I'm going to hit the road then.
You're all right. But anyways, we got Brad Goodspeed.
What's up, everyone? 6 seasons. This is crazy.
I know, 6 seasons. Oh my gosh, it seems like forever. Like Brad's like last of the Mohicans on the Hangout.
That's what everyone always says about me. That's
right.
What people always
He's
say.
the last original. But
right.
he's gonna be monitoring all the questions, and he'll be relaying them to all the guests on the show. So. That's what he does.
Well, the good questions. I'm keeping the standards high. Come on, people.
He's going to keep the standards high, and that's why we love him.
Yep.
And then he'll relay them to all the guests. But even if he don't ask your questions, you're still eligible for the prizes, so don't worry. And then we have our lovely Jamie Huggins.
Hello.
Hey. Do we not do the fake clapping anymore? We have to do that.
I'm so great clapping, darn it.
The production values on this show have fallen to shit.
Right.
It's special effects.
Right. And you gotta she's gonna be picking all the prizes for all the sponsors, so you gotta love her even more.
So ask good questions. Every time you ask a question, you get entered to win a prize. So keep them coming.
Yep, for every guest. And then we have Phil Ricosa, and he is going to be taking care of the pictures, and he's co-hosting as well. And we want to thank him for being on for this season. So thank you for having me. Okay, now we're going to go to Jamie, and she's going to let us know what's going on as far as the prizes and all that, and all the extra ones that we have.
Oh, and we have a ton of prizes tonight.
Lots of prizes.
Lots of prizes. Okay, so first off, we have this awesome mask from Face Factory FX.
I'm going to boo one of these at random.
Don't you be booing.
Fright Props is giving away this awesome brain beanie hat. Sinful Audio is giving one lucky winner one free SFX library, and if they choose to buy something while they're there, they also get 25% off of an original sound design and 10% off amps and speakers while they're there. So, and horror ornaments.
Every Christmas we would drive around to the ghetto and hang ornaments on all the hookers.
Call them over.
Well, they are giving away a bad clown, so that explains a lot.
Naughty clown.
Horror.
Okay.
Awesome.
Someone's getting 1 gallon of Froggy's Fog, so that's awesome.
All right.
Haunt Labs is giving away a Haunter hanging wall sign, and it's going to feature the winner's state, so they're going to make it custom for you.
Ooh.
Oh, that's
I did it random, nothing personal, nothing personal. Boo.
Okay, you're also getting a realistic looking skull from Nightmare Makers.
Ooh, nice.
Very nice.
I Love FX Makeup is giving someone Hollywood FX Hybrid Alcohol Airbrush Makeup, 2 ounces in black and white.
It's a lot of prizes, man.
I know.
Just give me like 20 minutes just in prizes.
And this is just page 1 of 2.
My hands are tired.
Exotic Lenses is giving
We
someone
don't wanna
1
know.
free non-prescription pair of lenses, and you get to choose. So that's pretty cool. And Hardcore Fabrications is giving someone their choice of 4 awesome knives.
Oh, nice. Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
And we're still going.
No, you missed Sam Haynes.
Oh, crap, I did.
Yeah.
When-
Wow.
Wow. First show.
And this is really cool because this is for everyone watching tonight. Everyone watching tonight gets 50% off of one sound from Sam Haynes. And all you have to do is go to his website and type in Haunters, all capital letters. And you get 50% off your choice.
Very nice.
Is it too late for him to change the promo code to horror ornaments for tonight? I think I can remember that a lot easier.
Let it roll.
Okay, now someone is getting a webcaster gun, and this was donated from Matthew Miller, who has Scurvy Demon Haunt. I'm so good at this job. And
Right.
last but not least, Richard Bureau is giving away a 4 DVD set, which you can make these things that you see in the pictures below. 2 of them are for making the head, and 2 of them are for making the torso. So once you
And
get
the
those
arms and
DVDs
legs,
and the
right.
arms and the legs, yes. So
Nice.
that is awesome.
Nice.
That's a great prize.
Much love, much love. We got all kinds of love up in here.
I know.
And that took up the whole show, so we're done.
No. Jamie's got one more thing. One more thing.
Got it going.
One more thing. Now, after you watch this show and you are so inspired by all of these haunters that you want to go make something, visit our website at hauntershangout.org. And this is what our site looks like. So we have over 1,000 different tutorials on pretty much anything you can think of. So go and check it out. You can go by static or animated, or you can go by theme if you know what your haunt's going to be. You know, if you're doing a cemetery or a gore theme or whatever, we've got it all categorized. So go make something.
Awesome. Yeah, that's
Very nice.
kind of Alan Hobbs' slogan. You just kind of stole
crap.
that, Jamie. Just so you know. You just changed it a little bit, but I think that's pretty much copyrighted. So
Oh, shit.
I'm
All right,
sure Alan
Jamie,
will
say
be in
something
touch after
different.
the
Say
show.
something different. Go ahead.
Okay, then go be inspired by us. How about that?
There you go.
Yeah, it doesn't have the same ring to it, but at least it's not.
No, it doesn't sound as
it's
good.
contract.
It's like, it just sounds good. Make stuff. Go make stuff.
Go create awesomeness. How about that?
It does. It sounds good.
Go scare a kid.
That's
There
right.
you go.
All right. Well, you know why we're here. We're here to see all these amazing haunters and see all how they made all their haunts and show all the pictures. And we're going to start it off. And we're going to start off with Ryan. And you guys introduce yourself. What's your haunt? And, you know, what inspired you? How you got started?
I'm Ryan Gregor and my wife Kelly Gregor. We do Black Cat Crossing in Columbus, Ohio. We got started by doing it, you know, decorating outside every year for Halloween, and just got bigger and bigger every year that we've done it.
Yeah, where you guys at? Located?
Columbus, Ohio.
Woohoo! Oh, you guys are in Ohio.
Oh, that place sounds familiar.
Yeah, it does.
Home
They don't have to
There's
go
still
far for
Honors
me to see.
Convention.
There's
They're-
something that
they're
happens
still
in
living there,
Ohio. I can't
Diablo.
remember what it is.
I'm not sure what it is.
They're still,
Tracy,
they're
you?
still living there, Diablo. They're still
I
living there,
know.
Diablo, from
I
like
know.
the when they mentioned it 20 seconds before you asked.
Well, it doesn't matter because I don't like listen to anything on the show before that. You know, it's like starts
just
off
had this
and once the
question,
live
so
button
we didn't
goes
listen
on,
to
all right? All right, Teresa, and you.
Hi, Thérèse Hansell and Hugh Flesher. We are the operators of Rutherford Manor Home Haunt. We've been haunting since 2009, I guess, and we're in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. And it's freezing here, terribly cold, awful.
Oh my God, it's horrible.
It's bad now. It's really bad.
Can't imagine hate cold weather.
That's where it gets actually cold.
Canadians.
Not Toronto. I guess it's on me now, huh? I'm Nate Dingman. Live in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, just south of Nashville. My home haunt is House of Hell, and been haunting since, I don't know, about 2001 when I put up plastic walls and PVC, and about the past 5 years, 7 years, something like that, I've gone to a little bit bigger and better stuff, to actual wood panel walls.
Oh, look out.
Get rid of that plastic crap.
All right. You get to pick the word for tonight, for the drinking word for tonight.
Oh, damn.
Neat.
I thought we were putting that all day.
But it has to be said by the panel, not the people watching.
Yeah.
Well, they've already voted on that.
Oh, the word tonight will be anything to do with the weather.
No.
Wah, 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 wah.
Okay, the word will be haunt. How about that?
There we go.
Oh, someone's been peeking.
Yeah.
I saw it earlier. And I'm stealing it, Homer. I'm stealing it. She knows who it is.
All right, Brent, let us know.
I'm Brent Wilson. I do a haunted house in Idaho Falls, Idaho, called Planet Doom Haunted House. We've been at it for about 4 years, and all of the funds that we raise. But
Thanks for sharing.
what is so funny? Sorry, what's so funny? Get back in your cage! I'm sorry. I don't know who that gimp belongs to, but I can assure you it's not. Get back in your cage! Sorry. We've been at it for about 4 years. We do the haunt and donate the funds to the Snake River Animal Shelter. It's a lot of fun. God damn it! Did you know restraining orders are not legally enforceable in the state of Idaho?
Was that Jamie?
Sorry.
It is.
Oh man.
I don't know whose gimp that is.
Okay, I'm sweating over here now because I'm laughing.
Oh jeez. That was good. I'm crying.
All right, Phil, let's get into the picture.
Already, wait.
Okay. Whew.
So that was our front yard. Made a new. We got the Home Depot horse and got it all weathered up and looking old. And then I made a cart, kind of a hearse type cart, to go behind it.
Is your fencing completely made out of PVC? Did you make that whole thing?
It's PVC and wood.
Wow. So you even did the arch in I see your entrance there. Is that you made the arc right with that?
So the actual columns for the archway, we hooked up with another local haunter, Zach, and he actually brought those over, and we worked and kind of reinforced them and repainted them. And then we actually got like metal gates from a local hardware store on Clarence for like $25 a piece.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
So we actually used like real gates for the front entrance and attached them to the columns. So it just worked out as a really cool entrance piece.
Awesome.
You guys got like a theme? I mean, how do you do your theme? Is there like a backstory to your haunt?
We don't really have a backstory. The front entrance or the whole front yard really is a cemetery, and just kind of dark, ethereal, cemetery kind of thing. And then the backyard, we have a couple different scenes set up. So we'll see some of those in a bit.
Now, all your tombstones, did you guys make all those yourself?
I am in the process of changing all of the store-bought tombstones. They're still kind of in the background to ones that we've made. All the ones in the foreground are ones that we've made, though.
Nice.
Bob Quall wants to know, did being on TV boost your attendance?
We did, actually. The weather, Nate, I'm not drinking.
The word was hot though, and you already said it.
I'm just saying. Oh well, hold on. Let me catch up a sec. So we did for the first time. We were actually on the local news this year, and even though our weather was absolutely miserable that year, we probably had 300 different kids come through the haunt, and then we actually had quite a few just adults without kids come through as well. On top of that, so
nice.
we were definitely up a bit this year. So
Great.
When do you guys start setting up everything?
It was about mid-September this year.
Oh, nice. Very cool.
So,
Maximus Christian Bryant wants to know, why is it called Black Cat Crossing?
Originally, we had a bunch of black cats. Now, none of our cats are black, but we got a sign at the time when we did have a bunch that said Black Cat Crossing, and I put it on our front door, and it just works, so we used it.
we're hoping to be able to change to like do some donations and some nonprofit to a local cat welfare association in the next year or so.
Oh, cool.
Very cool. Very
So
cool.
that is the goal we are working towards.
So what scene is this from the picture I have up? What kind of theme did you guys have for this room?
So we made a witch's shack. So this was basically the apothecary that was inside that our very angry, grumpy witch was reaching for potions from.
Oh, cool. So these are all like hand spell type things.
You
The
got
witchy
it.
theme. Nice.
Exactly. So fun little bottle. And you'll see what happens with a really bad mix with the Nightmare Maker's mold back there in the back. There's a shrunken skull. It was the happiest accident ever because it looked super cool.
Yeah, we have one of those too. Yeah.
Darren Smith wants to know, is it a walkthrough, and do you have any trouble with your neighbors?
Our neighbors are super awesome. The neighbor directly next door to us is actually very heavily involved in her church. And she actually sends her people over to come and walk through everything that we have.
Called the news on us.
It's not a full walkthrough, but we do open up the backyard and we have 3 or 4 different scenes. So it's not a traditional, walk through a maze walkthrough. So
it's more of a walk around.
Yeah, good answer.
That's what you saw when you first walked into our backyard. Set up the hay bales in the middle on a cart. And then we had one of the scenes in the back with the spider web and a bunch of spiders. And then the pumpkin kind of goes along with what was off to the left there was a bunch of scarecrows and corn. And
so we were also super lucky this year that a lady, Tanya Sakarik, who has copyrighted a lot of these pictures, she is a lady that I actually work with, and she's been playing with photography, and she came out and shot a lot of our haunt this year. So some
I was
pretty
awesome.
awesome.
Everybody's pictures were really good. I'm like, man, these pictures are good.
Yeah.
So
she did a great job.
Hey, is that a scarecrow on a swing, or what is he on back there?
That's the spirit pumpkin nester.
Okay, looks like that's pretty cool looking.
Yeah.
Now, is that backdrop natural?
The actual wooded part, absolutely.
Yeah, the wooded part.
Yeah,
that's cool. I like that in the background.
Yeah, we have Rose of Sharon that's gone wild back there, and it kind of looks cool come this time of year.
Yeah, I'm sure.
So, sorry, go ahead.
Bob Quall wants to know, for you guys, what are your strengths individually, and how does that work as a team?
I'm the more builder. I've got a construction background, so I can build real well. And Kelly's pretty darn artistic.
Yeah, I've been doing a lot more with a lot of the faux painting on things. And the tombstones have definitely become kind of a specialty that I'm kind of dealing with. So here's our angry witch with the apothecary.
Awesome.
Very cool. Very cool.
So
I like
we
the nails
actually,
are even painted.
I had to paint the nails, man. I had to.
The little details hunters find.
Details.
So this was a mask that we got from Closed Casket Studios. It was actually a zombie mask, and we filled it and we backlit it with LED lights. And then we actually put it on a Spider Hill. Am I saying that right? A
Spider Hill
Propworks. So it had the body. It was actually the Watchman's body. So she actually rotated back and forth, so it looked like she was grabbing stuff. So all in all, she turned out pretty cool.
Nice.
So,
Very cool.
Mary Fentner wants to know if you've had any theft, and Christy Brock wants to know if you've had any vandalization.
Thankfully, no. That was one of our biggest scares of going bigger out front, is someone coming away with something. I think the fence might help, but I think a lot of people just enjoy it and respect it.
Yeah, we
I
definitely.
guess as hunters, we also benefit from, like, we're the only ones who care about these kinds of things. Right? It's not valuable to most people.
It's like, let's go steal that. Why?
Oh, hey, they took off with $5 of styrofoam.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds kind of bad to say, but I mean, we do. Our neighborhood is like cool. It's like very, middle class-ish, lower to middle class even, but we're surrounded by some rougher areas, and even the people from the rougher area, they love coming over. They're coming by and they're just like, dude, that's the coolest thing ever. We just can't wait to see it every year. So, I mean, I think there's a little bit of respect involved in it as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it took me years to get over that feeling that, all this work we put into it, somebody's going to come and take it, but they don't.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Right. That's awesome. I mean, now that we mentioned that you guys never had, we're going to move over to Rutherford Manor, and you guys never had anything like that ever happen to you, ever?
Nope.
Other than the wind takes some stuff from time to time, but
Yeah.
Wind and rain. Wind and rain.
yeah.
I'm getting millions of questions about the pillars. Maybe you guys could talk a little bit more about the pillars. Excuse me.
No?
What's the other one?
I think
Is
that
that
was
coming?
Ryan
Okay.
and Kelly. Yeah.
Okay. The pillars, if that was towards us, like I said, Zach definitely, he made the pillars originally, brought them over to us. They are built pretty much like wood framing covered in foam, and then it's great stuff over that kind of created the vine look. There is electricity running through them to the lanterns, and they have flicker lights on them. And then, like I said, when he brought them over to us, we pretty much just sturdied them up to attach the gates to it, and then I did some additional faux painting on them. So it was definitely a huge, fantastic piece that was added to our haunt this year. It was huge. So, Zach, if you're out there, thank you.
They look awesome. They look really great.
Yeah, they do.
Very nice.
Yeah, it definitely added a very, very cool vibe to the front yard.
Nice. All right, we're going to move over to Rutherford Manor, and Phil's got a picture up right there.
This picture is of our hoarder's attic. We just have a lot of junk in it. And this is in our garage, actually. It's the second room, I think, in our garage, right? Yeah. Yeah. So it has a drop panel there on the right. I think you can see. Yeah. Oh, actually, you can see the girl in the picture. Yeah.
Still very effective.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It gets everybody every year. It's we're going to move the location. But they still, we even have people like say, oh, God, it got me again this year. So, but it works really well. It's a fun.
How big is your garage?
Yeah, 2-car garage.
Yeah.
We get three scenes in the garage.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Right.
That's cool.
Beautiful.
Using mostly LEDs for everything too, is because I see a lot of different colors in here.
Yeah.
Mainly LEDs now. We yeah.
It's all about the lighting.
Right. Do you guys have a backstory or a theme that you do every year, or something behind it?
We have quite an elaborate backstory, but we changed certain, of course, we changed things, but it is tied to the backstory. We try to keep a little bit of continuity to it, but the backstory is quite elaborate. It's getting more elaborate all the time, actually. So we're getting new characters. The backstory has really helped us keep the haunt
focused.
You know, we can't add clowns and stuff like that. So not there's anything wrong with clowns. It's just we can't. It doesn't fit our backstory.
Ken Honingman wants to know. Oh, sorry.
Sorry.
Ken Honingman wants to know how long does it take for you to build and sadly put away after?
Setup is about 8 weeks last year. We're building all the time. And takedown, because we got hit with snow last year, so it took about 4 weeks to get things put away. You know, most of it's put away within a week, but then we had to chip stuff out of the ice and whatnot. So it takes a while.
We had a big snowfall Halloween evening, and it was like 6-7 inches. Everything was just stuck.
Mental note: don't move to Canada.
You know what? I have like all the respect for Canadian hunters, dude, because I can't do cold at all. And so I can't even imagine, like, I see a lot of Canadian hunters, like, there's snow on their stuff and they're still happy, like, oh, I got all my stuff together. And I'm like, what, dude?
Well, this particular scene, I had to go out and knock the snow off of it's covered by a tarp, so I had to hit the snow off of it every day, like a couple times a day, or it would have caved in, right?
This is in our backyard.
Yeah, this is the backyard.
This isn't the garage anymore.
Oh, so you got, like, the garage and extra.
Yeah, that's a whole. It's taken up the whole side yard and backyard, and then there's a green space where we have, you know, the chainsaws and stuff like that. But it's consumed the whole yard and garage.
And these
what's the story behind this right here? This scene.
This is the chapel. We did the first time we did this was last year. So, we found got a deal on some pews, $10 for solid oak pews. So I cut them in half and made. Yeah, I know. I couldn't pass that up. Wow. So we repurposed the bodies in there. If they're from last year, we repurposed them, stuck them in the pews, and we had a high priestess at the front. She's on the far right, and then you come in from the back and have to go through the pews.
Yeah, that is awesome.
Well, I got a question for you guys real quick. That monitor in the back, do y'all have to take that in every night, or how do y'all protect that from the weather?
That's not a monitor. That's an uplit a head just with an LED. It looks like a monitor, but it's not.
Yeah, I thought it was monitor.
I know.
It's beautiful and super interesting.
That's the confessional.
The confessional, yeah.
Nice.
Ferdinand Knowles wants to know, have you ever had the city bother you about your setup? Do you work with the fire marshal?
Not yet.
No, we've been lucky.
Yet. We've been under the radar so far. I think Edmonton's a little more liberal, for lack of a better term, and we've tried to keep low key, tried to keep out of the media.
Yeah, we don't have any
best
media.
We can. We don't need any more people showing up. We get enough as it is. So.
No, we do.
Over
3,000 people. Yeah. So.
How many nights you guys open?
Wow.
This year we were open 3 plus the lights on.
Yeah, a kiddie tour, whatever. Yeah.
Just the way Halloween worked. Last year we were open 4, but this year we decided to go 3. I mean, there's only so much you can expect the neighbors to put up with screaming and chainsaws and stuff.
Exactly.
Right.
Our neighbors are great.
Yeah, they're lovely. I don't want to push it though.
I love the lighting on this picture.
No doubt.
Thank you.
Yeah, we've learned a lot about lighting. Still learning.
Yeah. Lighting is tough.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Now, all these stencils you guys have in the front yard, did you hand cut all those?
Yeah.
Or did you find those?
Yeah, those are all, no, we hand cut everything with an old school projector in our garage, and it's all coroplast, black coroplast.
Which is great for weather.
Yeah.
This stuff could sit out all day. In fact, that RMH sign, it stayed out till like a month ago. We just left it. We just put some Christmas lights on.
Decorated.
So that's real weather resistant right there.
Courtney Jean Roark, I hope I pronounced your name right, Courtney. What's your favorite prop that you guys have built?
Oh. Favorite prop.
Oh my God, I don't know.
I think the chain, the meat saw. We have a saw that's covered. It rotates with the rotisserie, and it's just covered in blood and gore.
Nasty stuff.
It's pretty good.
There's so many.
Yeah.
And then Bob Quall wants to know, what's your favorite aspect of haunting? Sets, costumes, acting, what?
For me, sets. I love the sets and I love the costumes.
I love where this is going. We're getting into all kinds of other venues.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just going crazy.
Yeah.
So you'll see more to come.
Yeah, that's why I hate that's why I hate like haunt couples. They suck, dude.
Single haunters unite. Wait, then we wouldn't be single haunters.
Yeah, I guess we need a haunter dating site, eh? Diablo, that's how we expand
It's all too late for that. It's too late for that.
For single hunters to meet up and become power.
I gotta say, I love this room though. This is so cool.
Yeah, it is.
Which one is this?
This is the lab in our garage.
Yeah, it's the three scenes you saw. The one before was the kitchen, the attic, and now the lab. Those are the three scenes in the garage.
In the garage, yeah.
Where did you guys get all that like equipment? I guess you could say equipment. You make that all yourself, or?
Well, the medical stuff we got. Somebody phoned us up. We get people now because there's such a wide array of people that are involved. I got some of this stuff. Do you want it? Yeah, absolutely.
Wow, that's awesome.
The cabinets, but we make most of
the rest
stuff.
of it we make. All the lighted.
That's so cool.
That relates to a question from Alan. How much help do you guys have from building to acting?
We have a ton of actors. We have a huge crew, but for building, it comes down to a handful because we're very particular about how we put things together. So there's only a handful of people that we can work with. Same with decorating and stuff. So probably on the building side, maybe, I don't know, 6, 7, 8 people at the most.
Probably.
Oh man,
tear down.
Nice.
Man, that's a lot.
Damn.
He's like, oh, maybe like he's disappointed. Man, that's a lot.
Yeah, but for the acting, like when it's going on, we have about 30 people that are involved.
Yeah.
But then comes tear down, there's nobody around. It's crickets. It's like,
yeah, that's. Hey, Brad, how many people you have helping you build your shit?
It's 95% me.
Brad, like me.
Well, back when I did a big haunt, I had a big crew helping me out for sure. But now that I do it small,
nice crew too.
Yeah,
I do it small.
Must be a Canadian thing.
There's nothing else to do here. Right?
Yeah. What else are you gonna do?
We all work together, eh? We do that everywhere.
We had 4 or 5 really dedicated people helping us tear down, and it was awfully cold.
Yeah.
But yeah, the tear down took a long time. It was awful.
Well, I have a question. One of the pictures before, I noticed there was a picture of 2 girls and they had matching makeup. Do you have your actors do their own makeup, or do you have someone that does that for them?
That I did. I did that makeup myself.
That was really
But
cool.
we also have makeup artists that come out, but those girls, I actually did that one.
Wait, you got 6 people to help you, 30 cast members and makeup artists?
And makeup artists. All right. So now we see how
and photographers.
Now we see how the elaborate stuff works. Now we see.
We're not worthy.
We're so blessed. Hey. We're really fortunate. Yeah. It's just volunteer, and all these people volunteer, and we have great volunteers.
If I could give one word of advice, is gather a super team.
Yeah.
There's people that want to do this stuff.
They do. They love it.
Get them. Round them up.
That's the whole problem, finding them.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, there's a ton of people out there who would love to do things, but they need someone to be the person who's spending all the money and and taking the leadership. Right? They need someone who believes in the idea enough, and then they'll follow in and help. But
and social media.
Yeah,
we couldn't do it without social media.
My neighbors just want to come over and drink beer and watch me do the work.
Right. Hey Phil, let's see Nate's stuff and see what a bunch of drunks can do.
I don't know. His pictures won't work. He must have been too drunk to take any. No, I'm just kidding.
That's just the simple cemetery in the front. Due to circumstances beyond my control, city doesn't appreciate what I do, so I got to kind of keep it low key in the front. So that's just a little simple cemetery.
What?
And,
they mess with you?
Yeah, the city doesn't appreciate what I like to do. So mine is for a private party.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
And
Yeah, you gotta do one of those.
yeah, so that's nothing but just some Grand and Roan tombstones. I got a little spirit tree right there, and the little
That
cemetery
sign is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you find that or did you make that?
No, I got that at my neighbor. She called me up and said, "Hey, they had the cemetery at Ross," and I just jetted up there and got it, and it was like I think $15, and I was like, "Yeah, yes."
Dang, $15 for that?
Damn.
Yeah.
Is it metal?
That's really nice.
I gave you 20. Send it over.
Hey, so what was just for everybody watching, what was like the limitations to where what you could do?
You cannot run an outdoor amusement in a zoned residential neighborhood.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, couldn't you decorate as much as you want in the front? Or
you could decorate as much as you want in the front. You just cannot have an outdoor amusement. And trust me, I got paperwork on it. Fire marshals, building inspector, codes, all this. I mean, they had a special meeting just for my haunt. Now, this is about like 7, 8 years ago. And so I keep low key now. Thus, the reason I don't have a web page or anything like that. Now, this scene right here was I was trying to do a swamp, the laser swamp scene. And it's actually under a 10x20 canopy, and I had vines and I had camo netting and the dual scorpion laser fogger going, and I lost the remote to the scorpion laser, so I only had the 2 little plus signs that I had to work with it. But it actually worked out pretty cool because the people would they would walk between those 2 little vertical walls, if you will, the laser walls. And they would walk down, and then once they like got down towards the laser, and they turned around, they're like, "Wait a minute, this big old open area, and we just walked to this like 2-foot path."
That's funny.
Herding cattle.
Did you ever have too much fog in there, Nate? That you had to like pop some holes in it to get some get less fog, so the effect was better?
Well, when the fogger would initially go off, it would block the laser, but less than a minute later, it would dissipate throughout, and the effect became really good. And I mean, I could be right down there by that laser light, and just below that laser, and you could not see me at all.
Yeah,
right.
Cool.
But you didn't have like scarers like on the outside of the lasers, like putting their hands in it or nothing.
I don't have the 30 actors.
Oh my God. Oh, you even Canada.
Ouch.
Even Canada. Right. Gotcha.
I had the 5 volunteers that never showed up.
Question for Nate from Linda Marshall.
Oh shit.
Does the city give other people the same amount of restrictions for their winter holiday decorations as they do for your haunt? She didn't say winter holiday. I edited for you, Linda.
Yes,
don't make that.
We don't allow the C word on the Hangout.
Yeah. That's the last time.
Jose had no problem.
And no, they don't. This is my 3rd rendition of my Spider Hall. I've done the Spider Hall 3 years now. It's with the beef netting. Don't even ask me how many spiders there are because I don't know. There is
go. 3, 2, 1, go.
There's a ton of them.
But one spider.
But this year I had him walk in 4 feet, turn 4 feet, walk 8 feet, and turn 4 feet. So it was. I had him go into the Spider Hall, and that's all the beef netting. Everybody knows where to get that from, and a ton of spiders.
And it's so much work to put up.
Matthew Miller wants to know what your haunt theme is. Does it change every year?
It's loosely themed on an old time farmer who captured or once he got done with his slaves, he would capture, torture, and kill them. And that was what it initially started out as, and it's kind of broadened from there. And but the reason it's called House of Hell was I would throw the first year I was in my house, I throw a Halloween party. cheapo wood tombstones, plastic walls, a few crappy sets, and I had about 150 people that night. And somebody came up and said, "Dude, this is like a house of hell." And so the name kind of stuck.
It's probably a Canadian.
We did have. We did have one question about where you actually do get beef netting. That may have been a joke, but
Trenton
for
Mills.
the people who don't know, For the people who don't know,
Trenton Mills.
I have a question about your beef netting. Do you ever have any success reusing it, or do you use brand new every season?
Yes, you can reuse it. It gets dirty mainly at the bottom near like the ground, but you can reuse it. Bleaching doesn't really help it. I've dunked it in buckets of bleach overnight, and it didn't really make a difference. But when you're at night and you have the lighting, you can't tell it's dirty. You can't tell if it's white or if it's brown, really.
Yeah.
Do you ever dump it in moonshine?
Moonshine's for drinking.
Don't waste it.
You can suck on it now.
What are you doing? I'm drying my spider.
I have to say there were a couple of dozen questions about moonshine in the comments. So.
All right, so you need to know how to make moonshine is what you need.
Hold on, let me get my pen. Wait a minute.
So Nate, this dragon looks familiar.
Yeah, he's actually from. It was by Costumes. It was the Nightmare Collection, and it was like it's an actual costume, but it was like a $400 costume on sale for like $40. So why wouldn't I buy it?
Yeah,
and so I was trying to figure out a way to make him. The scene before him where you're walking over like burning embers, and it just kind of blended right in. I had the space, so I was like, well, why not put a little red dragon right there? So I just kind of cut a piece of PVC or a piece of plywood away and put some foam on it and kind of had him bursting out. I was trying to make it like a cave sort of. And this is taken in daylight, so you can't see the red light behind them. But at night, it had red lights all behind them, the fire and ice lights. It worked. It was pretty cool. I liked it.
So is it static or is it animatronic?
I was trying to use a reindeer motor to make him move, but that's one of those things you put on the back burner. I'll get to it.
Next
shit. Don't have time. Static.
You might want a wiper motor for something that size.
But
depending on the weight,
Yeah.
But everybody kind of liked him. He was just in the right spot. All right, now this is actually inside my shed, and this was my little blood, guts, and gore room, and one of those two is a drop panel. Gee, can you tell?
I wonder which one.
Wow.
Got me fooled.
Well, without a flash, you couldn't tell. But once again, we go back to that actor, the staff, the 30 people, and on Halloween night, none of my volunteers showed up.
So maybe it dropped in.
So it stayed up until I had a friend come by, and he's scaring people from a curtain. I'm like, no, get behind this drop panel. And then he was getting them left and right, and he was like, oh, I love this. But yeah, that's a
poor bastards. Like, you Canadian, or you suffer from like non-actors. Damn it.
Well, you from non-actors. Christy Brock-Smith wants to know, Nate, have you ever had a random person just donate stuff to you?
No, not really donate stuff, but I've been cued in on, hey, you might want to check this out. Hey, check out.
The Canadians get that shit all the time. I bet you. Like,
I wish people would donate to me.
Right, it's like Texas and Canadians now. There ain't too many people that I like.
Yeah, was that in this list?
And haunt couples.
And haunt couples. Yeah.
Haunt couple.
That's the worst. That's the worst. Haunt couples are the
We're
worst.
Yeah, photographers too. So
Nate, did you ever run into anybody grabbing on those hooks and pulling them down?
No, actually, never. I never had a problem with it.
Really? That's you're lucky.
All I want to do is grab one and
Dude,
That's
I
what I
was
wanted.
so glad when
Swing on.
All they would do is fall down, and I'd laugh at them. They're the cheap plastic hooks from the little Halloween store. Is all they are, and
Dude,
just
things
add
they look huge as hell, dude.
Yeah, they do.
They are.
actually.
They are. They're actually pretty big, but just put a little perma blood on them, and kind of adds to it.
oh, I thought somebody
No one pulled a
donated some
Miley
DNA
Cyrus,
material.
But that whole scene's changing up, so.
Very cool.
Okay, we're gonna move over to Planet Doom, Brent.
Right on.
I'm waiting for something to pop up in the background.
I pretty much blew my wad on that.
That's better than
Tricks
something
came out
popping up in the
early. The
foreground.
tricks came out early.
Yeah.
Get a better luck on that game.
Right on. So
That was awesome, by the way, dude. Banana. I was done with the banana. I'm like, oh damn.
It's Idaho. What the hell else are you gonna do? So this is the exit of the haunt. Actually, we got one of those laser vortexes. We had one 2 years ago, and everybody was like mesmerized by it. So we decided to do it again this past year. And then I had to go with, I normally make all my own props, but that Home Depot spider last year was just freaking awesome.
Yeah, it was
So yeah, I went out and got one of those Home Depot spiders and stuck it at the exit, so you had to walk past the spider to get into the vortex. So yeah, it was fun.
How'd you get him to stay up there?
My brother helped me mount him, and they come with these stands that you can stand them upright on. And I actually took a bunch of huge industrial sized zip ties, and there's a bunch of 2x4s behind that stone wall, and I zip tied that stand to those 2x4s, and we get some pretty crazy winds out here in the fall, like 50, 60 miles an hour, and it held up just fine. Those industrial strength zip ties are like, a godsend.
Yeah, for sure.
Zip ties in general are my
Oh yeah.
Totally. Hunters must have.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I had those struts for the tent that you can see. Ideally, we're going to build a building this year, and it'll have a pretty good clear height. So next time there won't be those struts in the way.
So now I see. Are those all skulls around the entrance to that? Did you make all those, or that was all like Spirit Halloween and stuff like that props?
No, I actually made that archway. I think it was 2015. I made that archway, and this is the third year I've used it. And so that was a silicone mold that I made. There was a tutorial online, and I got 72 skulls out of it. And since then I got wise, and I started buying my molds from Nightmare Makers. It's the way to go. Much less brain damage, better quality. Yeah, better quality molds. I learned my lesson, but back then, not
to mention they're a sponsor of Hunters Hangout. So if anybody's listening, that's the place to go.
Great product.
Yeah, they're awesome. I'm rocking 2 of their molds right here. So if you want to do your own skull arch, just go to Nightmare Makers. Don't try and do your own mold. It's a complete waste of money and time.
Yeah.
So,
Did you do the Hollywood Haunter tutorial?
I did, yeah. It was Hollywood Haunter and one other guy that was on Halloween Forum. But yeah, pretty much it was the Hollywood Haunter tutorial.
Yeah, Hollywood.
Yeah. So our theme this year was we live in an area that got hit really hard in the late 1800s by typhoid fever. And so the theme was, hey, you're about to tour an old insane asylum that was abandoned in the late 1800s, and all of the residents were left there to fend for themselves. And so cannibalism and murder and suicide ensued. So that that picture frame on the wall there, that was actually a pneumatic drop panel. So I had a pressure mat underneath the rug. So when people walk past that corner, that picture would drop, and I had an animatronic zombie that it was a pretty cool corpse that I got from somebody on Etsy, and I made it move. And so the drop panel was pneumatic, and then behind that was an animatronic corpse.
Beautiful set.
Thank you.
I always wanted to know, because I wanted to do a pneumatic drop panel. What was the stroke and cylinder on that? Because it was like I have so many cylinders, but none of them seem long enough. What did you use?
The stroke, I want to say, was like 20 inches, 24. It was 24 inches. And yeah,
that's a heck of a stroke.
Yeah. That's what she said.
You know, I feel like inadequate now. I was like, no, my cylinders weren't that big. That's why it didn't work.
Here you go. Here you go. Check this out.
More about
this is for my next problem.
Wow, you got a big,
doesn't matter.
there, buddy.
Getting the phallic all up in this place here. Question for Planet Team. What was your inspiration for the really cool? Cindy Wharton.
I'm sorry, what was the question?
Cindy Wharton wants to know, what was your inspiration for the really cool promo video?
Oh, the really cool promo video. Well, I like speed metal and I like haunts, and so I had a song by Pig Destroyer, and I synced it to some of my pneumatic props. So that's pretty much it. You know,
keep going there.
Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead.
I'm gonna have to look up. What was it? Pig metal? Pig what?
Pig. The band is Pig Destroyer. Yeah,
Pig Destroyer.
Technically, it's grindcore. Pig Destroyer. They're awesome. And so I like
grindcore.
I like extreme metal, and I like, you know, corpses and haunted house props.
Well, that's
what are we looking at here?
But hold on, real quick. A question from Bob Qual. Brent, is there a skill set you feel most expert at? Is there a skill set you still plan to master?
Yeah, totally. That's a great question, Bob. I've over the past 3 or 4 years, I've gotten pretty good at pneumatics. And I actually want to. Pneumatics are awesome, but they also have their own limitations. I want to get into servos.
You need a big air tank, man. That's the key. The bigger the air tank, the more you can do.
This past
the
year,
air tank's like the round. The air tank's like the big round thing underneath that big shaft. Jose, is that what you're talking about?
That moves that big cylinder up and down.
It makes a motorboat noise.
So I'm starting to think this isn't about Halloween for Jose.
Bigger the better, man.
Yeah, really big air tank.
Last year I ran 3 28-gallon compressors, and so. But I want to get into 2 things: servos, so you can get more nuanced, refined movements out of your props, and also Santa brought me a whole bunch of stuff from Hot Wire Foam Factory. So this year, now that we're going to have a building to put the haunt in year round, we're going to have like all kinds of ruins. I got a buttload of styrofoam from Tractor Supply. And so caves, cemetery ruins, we're going to go ballistic with the styrofoam and the gunite this year.
Right. Well, if you start getting servos, then Steve Koshy, he does like a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
he's a servo guy. So and he'll help you out all he can if you just ask him.
Yeah, he's definitely a great resource, and I subscribe to his videos. He's awesome.
Bobby Mitchison wants to know, do you have any actors or use all animatronics?
We had a couple of actors. We had a drop panel that was manually operated this past year, and then we had a guy that would bust out from behind a projection screen. Where I live, for whatever reason, the grown-ups aren't really into Halloween, so this coming year, I got about 9 or 10 8-year-olds that are all over it. So I'll take what I can get.
Right. You're not Canadian, right?
No, definitely not. I live in
you gotta do whatever. But we're really creepy. Kids are creepy.
We really need to talk about this picture because this is actually one of my favorite pictures that you sent in.
Oh,
this, for some reason, just creeps me out. So please tell us what's going on in this picture.
That and that was the scariest room. It's the easiest one. It was the easiest room we built, and it's a bunch of dead bodies that got left behind in the asylum, and so those were dead bodies that were hanging on nooses, and they were swinging, and you had to walk between them to get to the next room.
Is that clear plastic or black plastic?
It is actually white plastic covered in permablood. So,
oh.
Did you put the permablood inside or outside?
A combination of both. Yeah.
Oh, good idea.
I actually started off with some body bags that I got from Walmart, and then they came with inflatable bodies that just looked ridiculous, and they didn't have any weight to them. So I got some mannequins really cheap on eBay, and just used the body bags I got from Walmart, and then just replaced the bodies with mannequins, and then covered the feet and the legs of the mannequins with permablood. And man, it was effective. It's a super easy build, and by far that was the room that people were really scared to go through.
Hey, I'm stealing that idea.
Right.
I'm stealing it.
It's not even my idea, so you're not stealing it.
We're all stealing it.
I've seen that in 100 homes.
We're all stealing it.
It's the whole point of the show, isn't it?
Hey, and we may or may not mention you.
I got news for you. I stole that idea. I saw that exact room at Terror on Church Street in 1994. So yeah, it's not my invention, that's for sure. So
great picture.
Thank you.
Really nice.
So do you act? Anthony Lordigan wants to know: Do you act in your haunt? If so, as who? What?
Yeah, actually, at the beginning of the haunt this year, we had an intro where we talked about the backstory, and I had a two-way mirror over the fireplace, and we would start to talk about the backstory and how the haunted asylum is supposed to be the most haunted building in all of Idaho, and it was rumored that if you look closely into the mirror over the fireplace, you could see the faces of the dead, and then this projection of this zombie would just, it was a jump scare, and so I would walk people through as kind of the caretaker. But that was about it as far as acting. I kind of had to keep an eye on things. We had pneumatics that I, like 2 or 3 times a night, I'd have to go fix something. That's pneumatics for you.
No, you have a whole pocket full of unions. It happens. Anybody that knows and haunts with pneumatics, every haunter has a pocket of unions for that leak, and it's like, and you're like.
And a headlamp too.
Yeah, they all do.
Yeah,
pneumatics suck, but they're like the greatest thing in the world, man. But
they're awesome, but you want to kill them at the end of the night.
Yeah, they're awesome when you build them separately and they go off. And you're like, oh, this is so cool. But when you put like 10 of them in one haunt, yeah, it's not so good.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
They work great except for show night.
Exactly.
Right. It's only because you're setting one off at a time. You're like, okay, this is going, but not like 3 or 4 of them going off at a time. Then like all the air, they only go halfway. We had like 80-pound, like 80 psi compressors. We had like 3 of them, and it still didn't keep up. It's
frustrating.
I started going to motors. A little bit.
That's my plan for this year. Is less pneumatics, more motors. This prop here is just a motorized rocking chair, and it never gives me any problems. It works like a charm.
That reminds me of one that was at Terror on Church Street with the old lady sitting in it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, half the ideas I stole from Halloween Horror Nights at Universal Studios or Terror on Church Street.
You heard that?
Gina Doctor wants to know.
We can steal from you.
Oh, of course.
Gina Doctor wants to know, how has being part of the haunt community helped you in your haunting?
I steal lots of people's ideas.
We all do.
We all do.
Yeah. There's so much.
We're sharing. We're not stealing.
Yeah.
Exactly. Somebody told me I was a Poison Props ripoff. I was like, yes.
It was that good. Yes.
I've made it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I remember when I first started doing YouTube and stuff, and like nobody was sharing anything, and then like probably within like 2 months, is like everybody on YouTube was sharing everything and everything they did, and it just like bursted into like a whole haunt prop, like extravaganza, dude. It was crazy. Like, it was awesome. Everybody
It
was
is
sharing everything. You know, the first person that did like the cauldron creep, you know what I'm saying? You know, I know that guy, you know what I'm saying? It was like
Devil's
you know,
Chariot.
You know what I'm saying? It just went from there. It was awesome.
Yeah.
Very true.
Bobby Mitchelson wants to know, do you see a huge difference in your power bill during October?
Oh yeah. I have no idea. But
Oh yeah.
yeah. I mean, we have an old house. Our house was built in 1909. And so we've got a 200 amp service, and I was crossing my fingers this year with 3 compressors running. Man, I was nervous. I didn't think we were going to be able to pull it off, but we got lucky. Yeah, we did.
Nice. Now, how many nights you open, Brent?
2017, we were open 4 nights. Interestingly enough, our turnout Halloween night was terrible.
Really?
We had really good turnout the previous nights. And I wasn't even planning on being open Halloween night so I could take my kid trick-or-treating. And some people hit me up and said, hey, we want to come back with our kids and our grandkids, and can you open for Halloween night? And I did, and like 30 people showed up. So
What?
Wow. Yeah, we had a great turnout. We did about 365 people last year, so we had a great turnout the previous nights. For whatever reason, Halloween night was a dud. So
Weekday
Midweek.
on Halloween.
yeah, there you go, Nate. That's it.
Now, Brent, this scene right here, these caskets, did you cut a casket in half, or did you actually make your own?
Those are actually vacuum form panels from Night Screen Studios. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
With the bricks and everything included? Or did you have to make that?
Wow. No, they come like that. Yeah, I'm all about the vacuum form panels now. It just makes my job so much easier. I'm pretty much a one-man show. My brother helps out a little bit, but if I didn't fudge it and buy stuff like vacuum form panels, I'd never get my haunt open.
Hey, was that your brother with the banana behind you?
I don't know who that guy was. I've never seen him before. Yeah, that was my brother. Yeah.
I see pallets. Uh-oh.
Yeah. What are you gonna do? We get 80-mile-an-hour winds here. I gotta use pallets. I can't use solid.
Yeah. Oh, my pallets are my best friend. I love those things too.
Yeah.
I love my talent hunt. It was awesome.
Yep.
All right, we're gonna move over to Black Cat Crossing and show some more pictures, and let's.
Pressure's on. Like everybody else.
Hey, I switched over and put Phil right on the spot.
Look at this.
Pressure is on. Lights going. He's looking around. He's looking around.
I was trying to drink a beer. Drink.
Haunt.
Uh-oh, I see a gargoyle. What's that?
Yeah.
Of course.
That's him right here.
Oh, man. I'm jealous.
Distortions Unlimited. Thank you.
Yeah, we built a little dog house for him last year when he was part of our little chapel. We moved him instead out front this year, so he's kind of our little cemetery guardian. So this was just kind of a view, shows the fence, shows the trees, shows some of the other items we've got out in the front yard.
I like the small details of the skeleton up in the tree with the cat.
And there's a dog skeleton at the bottom of the tree.
It is? Oh, yeah. He's looking at
nice. I like that.
Hey, you know what's messed up is like I got to put my glasses on to see that.
Getting old, man.
I'm feeling old, damn it.
I must need glasses because I'm just sitting there going, yep, yeah.
No, hey, well, put your glasses on.
That's
It's
the
really
moonshine.
Cool. You know, and the thing I like about that is like every time you look at something, it's like when you see stuff that has a lot of detail in the daytime. Yeah. I mean, it's like you know how great it looks at night.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like the daytime walkthroughs are like my favorite thing because you know it doesn't always look great in the daytime, but you know when you set it up and the lights are going, it looks badass. But if it looks good in the daytime, you know it looks good at night.
Yeah.
And that was the witch house in the back with we saw earlier the inside of.
So we actually got pretty fortunate. I mean, we've never been much into, buying large amounts of props. We've just had little bits here and there, but there was someone that I knew who passed away, and his family sold us all of his Halloween props. just because at a great price, just because they wanted to see it live on. So that's where a lot of the witches came from that are standing out front. And we already talked about the witch on the inside. So
Some of those props in the front yard were from him.
How'd you get
Great
the monster
set.
thing? I've
Do you,
always
hey,
had
do you get
trouble.
do you get any creepy stuff happening? You know, just from you got it from that guy.
you know, I actually I think of it as good vibes. I'm going with good vibes from
You
it.
got attachment shit. I know.
But
I
yeah,
shouldn't even said that. I don't even want to do it. Stuck in my head. Sorry.
But this was
Yeah.
the chapel last year with the gargoyle sitting on top. We took it off and put a metal roof in the center. And
yeah, and we like Nikki Spone came over and she went absolutely like spray adhesive happy with me, and we attached all the moss with spray adhesive.
It's
Now,
beautiful.
I'm probably
This-
going to steal someone's question, but how'd you do the shingles?
Yeah, they're
Oh.
beautiful.
I mean,
That-
they're awesome.
it's a piece of foam. Each of them is a sheet of foam.
Each end of those square or the whole thing, or
The whole
full
thing.
sheet.
4x8.
Yeah. Yeah,
Oh, nice.
it's a
Damn,
4x8. Ryan carved it, and then of course we went way too deep into it, and so we leveled it out and sanded it all down, trying to give it a 3D effect, and then just kind of painted them, trying to make them look like old slate shingles. And I think the moss added a lot to them this year too.
You didn't go too deep because that looks awesome.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
does.
looks really good. Yeah.
Yeah, they look really good.
It's an
Thank you.
amazing haunt drink.
Ding, ding, ding.
Drink them up.
Yep.
Bill says that because
Yep.
he's behind the pictures.
Don't worry.
Bastard.
He's like, yeah, I'm very good. I'm very good, really.
Yeah.
He's gonna say that word like 9 times because he's behind the pictures.
Yeah. So I saw you had pumpkins before. Do you guys carve a bunch of pumpkins, like real ones, or do you do the funkins or whatever they call them?
We do the Funkins.
You do?
Usually at least 1 or 2 new ones a year.
Nice.
This one, the head is all paper mache that Kelly did.
I hate that fucking thing. Like,
Hey, I was gonna say that head's not a funkin'.
okay, no. I actually, I love and hate
that
this
pumpkin
head,
No.
all at the same time.
The only reason why people hate any pumpkin is because they know it looks awesome, but they know what it took to get to that point.
Oh my God, I know.
They know.
That
They
was
know.
my very
It's a
first
horrible
paper
thing.
mache
The only-
project.
The only person that likes doing shit like that, like Jay Olson, is like the only person I know that's like, and it's Halloween. He's the only. They're the only people that can like do paper mache like a normal, like it's an everyday thing. It's like,
Oh, J-Wall.
Yeah,
Jay
dude,
Wall's
I
Jay Wall
love
was like an
it.
A tutorial thing. So
Yeah, A. Oh, sorry, A.
It's like
so much.
It's like foam carving. Everybody loves it when it's done.
Yeah, right on.
But hates to do it.
But you're like, please fucking dry, please.
For the love of God, am I doing this again? But yeah, that was my first paper mache project. I actually did it last year, and we didn't really do anything with them. Even this year, you know what I mean? We ran out of time, and he ended up a little bit more of a Pumpkin King feel.
Right. So how many did you do after that?
None.
I'm gonna do after this.
You gotta have more.
I will probably do more. Just there's haunt goals, right? Everyone drank haunt goals. Haunt.
Gotcha.
Just add a few more in on that.
Right on.
There's a daytime. You can see the columns in the front with the gates.
The columns are like beautiful, man. That's nice work.
That's a great picture.
Yeah.
Now I see the horse is a different color. Did you also dye that a little bit?
We actually did the amber shellac, and we did spray bottle amber shellac to give it texture, and then we did like a dark like mahogany stain over it, and he turned out really cool.
Nikki did a lot of that work for us.
Oh, by
Really
the
helped us.
way, I'm just gonna say I hate y'all for having actual metal fences for dirt cheap.
It's just the gates, man.
Just
The
putting it out there.
Just those 2 gates. Everything else is
yeah.
PVC.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Oh, we still hate you for it.
So this is me. I'm getting into my tombstone making. So getting
That's
more little
awesome.
creative. This thing is huge.
It's about 4 foot tall.
Yeah, we had some happy accidents with it. But yeah, definitely I'm digging on the tombstone making. I think that's my thing.
Yeah, they're beautiful.
Do you secure your tombstones with the rebar in the ground too and everything with the PVC in the center? Yeah.
Yep, we did the PVC in the center, wood bases that we dry lock, and then it's what, tomato stakes or what are they?
Usually I use tomato stakes, sometimes rebar.
Yeah. So, but yeah, they didn't move. Like as many wind issues as we had this year, they didn't move. So that's just one of our old witches.
I can attest to the detail on that tombstone. I saw it in person before it was painted, and gorgeous detail.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
So thank you.
Thanks, Nate.
This is just it was one of our witches. It was an older witch that we got with that lot that we got from the guy I worked with that passed away. Just a little close up of it and the moss and how it looked with the lighting on it.
And the wood shack. And the one on the left hand window is a fog machine that's like 16 years old.
Sorry. This little guy over, I don't know if you can see my pointer.
Yeah. That little guy. I worked part-time at Joann's, and they sold a fogger that had a witch head on the front of it. And like I said, 16 years, that little fogger's still kicking.
Wow, that's amazing.
So just became one of our little witches in the windows.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
And that was another one of my tombstones this year. I did the recreation of the Billy Butcherson tombstone. I was super duper proud of this.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
That is awesome. I love the detail on that.
There's a lot of detail. That looks cool.
You know how hard it is to find a picture
Samantha
of that?
Black wants to know, Kelly, do you use a spray bottle for the shellac? Do you have to thin it down?
The shellac I actually put on with a foam brush, and then I use a spray bottle with the water. So you put it on and then you spray it. And then it gives you, again, I stole that from someone on Hunter's Hangout. It might have been, was it Becker? God, it might have been Becker.
Probably.
Okay. But it basically, when it dries, it leaves a texture that gives you a really nice base for a lot of the other painting that you do on top of it. So instead of it just being a flat paint, it gives you a texture.
Yeah, it's almost like corrosion or something.
Exactly.
It's very nice.
Yeah, this one was set out for me as a challenge, and I was so proud of it. I couldn't even, like I said, I was posting pictures all over the place. I was like, look what I did.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
So thank you.
How did you get the detail on there? Did you have to do like a projector, like Teresa and Hugh were talking about, I believe? No? You did it all hand? By hand?
It is all hand. The top part is all hand drawn out. All the detail around the sides. And again, I couldn't find a static picture. The majority of this was actually off a GIF that I found from the movie.
Oh, wow.
And then the words were freehanded on there as close as I could get. Actually, no, I stenciled it off the computer. I got a computer and I found a font that worked, and then I just kind of draw on it and then dribble it out from there. So
very cool.
Very nice.
Mm-hmm.
So we have a ginormous fence. I mean, this is the side of our house. And the problem every year has always been, what do we do with this fence? Like, it could be the coolest focal point ever. However, what do we do with it? So I ended up with all of those. The majority of those hanging guys actually came from that lot that we picked up from the coworker. So I'm like, well, let's just hang them out.
I was gonna say that's a lot. There's a lot of bodies there.
You guys have no idea how much stuff we got. I mean,
he had a 5-acre farm and a big barn that he put a little walkthrough onto.
Yeah.
And he just had a ton of these things.
Yeah. So I was like, what do I do? So we hung him out there, and then I suck at spider webs. So Nikki came over and did her spider web magic. So it turned out pretty cool.
Oh, that's awesome. Oh, there's the cat.
There it is.
Nice. For those of you, Diablo, you'll need your glasses for this one. Here we go.
Pull it up just for you.
Dude, Ryan started putting the stuff up in the trees. I'm like, no one's going to look at this. What are you doing? And it never failed. We'd be sitting inside and the front door would be open and people are walking by outside. And you would hear someone say, oh my God, it's a cat in the tree. You know, so I was like, okay,
That's
you
the detail.
win.
That's the detail.
It's the subtleties, yeah, for sure.
It's the detail.
Yeah.
There's a good story with this one. The tricycle was a little Disney princess tricycle that our neighbor put out for the trash or the local scrapper to pick up. Kelly's like, I want it. So I went over and grabbed it, and it became this.
That's awesome.
They loved it. Again, it was just something silly and cute and fun. You know, it was the perfect size for those little, like, 3 foot, not even 3 foot, but, you know, whatever, the little skeleton to ride on.
Yeah, the medium ones.
Yeah.
I don't know what those are, but they're something.
Yeah.
I love seeing when people repurpose old props that may have broken down over time or whatever. It's awesome.
Haunters are the best at that.
I love hearing haunters going, they're going to throw it away, but I took it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Dude, I can't even tell you the amount of time I spent scraping off like Disney princess stickers off that thing. But I think it turned out pretty cool, so he'll be around for a while.
That's awesome. Okay. I think we are all set.
Cool.
Jose? Oh, I'm back. Look at this. Put the pressure on. See, he put me under pressure last time, so I got to put him under pressure now.
Sorry, but you was like, Jose, it's like my wife had like gave me a drink. I'm like, she gave me like some moonshine and a drink, and then you dropped like Jose. I'm like, I thought you was gonna keep talking, Phil.
And he's fisting. Look at him go.
Hey, Jose. Haunt.
Okay, it's just show. Okay, we're moving on.
So Hugh and Thérèse, what is going on with this picture?
That's my character.
Really?
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
That is badass.
Yeah. Her name is Lilith, and she
you look a lot shorter in the pictures than in real life.
No, that's her.
Talking about the mannequin.
I'm not so prepubescent.
Hey, Phil, you're gonna pay for on the spot thing.
Yeah. So that's my character, Lilith, and I never change her. And she doesn't speak. I don't talk to anyone. I'm usually Q-line, but I do, move around in the haunt and stuff like that. But and find little special scare spots that people don't find.
The non-speakers are the creepiest.
Yeah, yeah. I don't talk. I have a little.
Reminds me of that number 9 movie.
Oh yeah.
A little prop funny that I just shove in people's faces, and
she loads it up with
slaughterhouse, and they gag, and if I don't really like you, I'll slap you with the bunny. If I like you, you get a little fist bump with the bunny. I'm quite abusive. I'm really obnoxious in line, but that's me. I was just whipping through the haunt there.
Thinking that's not like all haunt stuff. That's just.
Why do the Naunters don't like the sense we have?
I don't know.
Naunters, yeah.
This is a great shot of one of our priestess or priest or nun now. And we had 2 characters actually, 2 actors throughout. This was our nun she was so good. She'd slap that book closed and scare the crap out of people. She was really good at it.
And those numbers are real hymns.
Those are real hymns. Yeah. That's
Look them up.
Yeah, we made the hymnal. Yeah.
Gonna probably steal another question. What'd you make the book out of?
That's a photo book photo, like an old.
Yeah, we
like,
bought it somewhere, garage sale or something.
but it's just a
Yeah, it's
a
just
bunch
a-
of it's a really old photo album. Yeah.
Love the candle mold, the mounds of candle.
Yeah,
Oh,
very
Thank
cool.
you. Nightmare makers with the molds, and we just used PVC and built it all up. And
Nice.
Yeah, and you know, Nightmare Makers are like a sponsor of ours Hangout, so you
Yeah.
guys need to go there for all your scone needs.
I mean it.
Absolutely.
Like,
Woo, Nightmare Makers. They're the
They're
best.
awesome. Nightmare
I'm
Makers
just
is awesome.
I'm just
no,
saying.
and we used the mold so many times, and it's been a
hundreds of
great
skulls,
product. Yeah.
Yeah.
Rick Fender wants to know: do you get any bad feedback about the chapel and the nun?
No,
Oh,
not at all.
No, we're tasteful. We didn't overdo it. We were worried
like,
about that.
we
That's a
got
good question.
We got a zombie nun. We're tasteful.
There's no baby seal pups or anything. It was good. We were careful.
Yeah.
Canadians don't have the fanatics the USA does.
No, we don't actually. And we didn't have any other, apart from her upside down cross or anything. We don't make it's just pretty banal. It's nobody would even notice any kind of evil. Nobody.
Well, they didn't have time. They were rocketing out of there because
Nobody cares that much.
And they got to that room.
Yeah.
Very nice. Gonna come out with a ruler.
And this is our hunting shack. And this guy is
He's
that
dead. I don't even know who he is.
I think that's Farrell.
We don't know.
Don't know who it is.
Some bum one took a nap.
Just one of the Canadian people.
That's what happens when you have too many actors. I don't even know.
I'm pretty sure that's our Farrell boy. And he would go there's a room behind this, and he would kind of scoot in between, and he
plays a feral boy, or that's one of
yeah,
the
he's a feral boy. Yeah, he plays feral boy, and that's not his name.
clarifying.
Yeah.
Where you get your help from.
Well, we
Welcome to
we'll accept anyone, really. We're not that selective.
He spends 11 months of the year in the forest down the street.
We only see 5 people go through by a house a year, so we grab them.
Yeah.
I love the dartboard on the wall. Do you give your customers a dart and have them throw it, and then all of a sudden,
pick your fate?
yeah, I know. Bullseye, you're going down there. You're done.
For the next room. Yeah.
That's a cool room though. I like all the detail and all the stuff.
Yeah, we got a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff.
Or as we like to call it, haunt porn.
Yeah, exactly.
Nobody calls it that.
Just me.
Wait.
I'm not a hoarder, I'm a haunter.
So that's the entrance to the New Orleans style cemetery. And then the old Canadian Haunters Association plaque up above. Yay!
Of course.
In the background, we have
Shameless plug. Shameless plug.
Shameless
shameless
plug.
plug.
But you don't see no snow though, damn it.
The next
Yeah,
day
that
you
was
did.
the 29th,
The next
I
day you
think.
did. Yeah, all got covered with snow. But yeah, we had a thunder and lightning snow in the back too. It worked out really well.
That's awesome.
It does look good.
Rob Beach
Yeah,
wants to
this
know
is
what your yearly budget is, if you're willing to
Oh God.
divulge that.
Oh, somebody said the B word.
Wah, wah, wah.
I thought the drink word was haunt.
Well, the nice thing about being a couple is she has a budget and I have a budget, so we don't know what each other's budget is.
Right, and
Once
I bet
again,
you,
My budget.
I bet you each
Part
budget
of you.
is like a lie. You're like, I only spent 20 is 50. I only spent 100 is 200. Yeah.
Well, it's Canadian too.
It's Canadian
It's
too.
nothing. Whatever. It's basic. Whatever.
Yeah. We don't really have a set budget, but we do a lot ourselves.
Yeah.
So a lot of our budget does go to material. So yeah. We'll just put it that way.
And that's why I haunt. That's why I hate haunt couples. That's why. That's the whole reason. That's the whole reason. You know, my whole budget's like goes to the haunt. My wife's whole budget goes to like the grandkids. I'm like, what about that? It's like
That woman has some
For the
fucked
grandkids.
up priorities.
Once again, I'll drink to single haunters.
Right. I'm gonna drink to that. Damn it.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck, I'm a haunt couple, and I'll drink for you guys.
Damn,
You know what's great is that this is an amazing
It
haunt.
is.
An amazing haunt. Everybody drink.
Oh, yeah.
I see what you did there.
I see what you did there.
Play it
Nicely done.
Yeah. No, I love the prop though in the back left. It's got like a huge nose. It blends in so well in that back corner. I don't know
that's a plague
what it
doctor.
is.
Those are plague doctors. Yeah.
Yeah.
We have quite a few of them.
There's one back
Oh
here.
yeah.
Yeah.
They're
We
great.
got paper mache.
Ah.
Yeah, we made those and
That looks like a movie set there.
Did y'all ever have problem with people trying to like go towards that instead of taking that right turn?
Well, we had an actor back there that would run out and.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That guy that's there is the static proc, but there was a actor hidden in behind there somewhere.
Yeah.
Usually.
And then they would try and go back there, and then they'd scare them towards the chapel.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, nicely done. Nicely done.
Yeah, well, they
The
can
chapel
do
was
that.
right
They got like 30 helpers. You know
Yeah,
what I'm
we got a lot of
saying?
them.
They have to
They
do
got like 30 helpers. They can have
I forgot about those helpers. You know.
Right.
Extra people.
We're feeling bad now.
No, jealousy is a good
We
thing.
are lucky. We're so blessed. Again, a close up of one of our little plague doctors.
Badass.
That's cool. I like it.
Dude, that's
Made that?
awesome.
Very cool.
Thank you. And we do make our own tombstones. Not
Right on.
Not quite the same scale as
That's why
others, but yeah, good. They're okay.
It works.
Just want to take a moment to educate some of our American
here we go.
viewers tonight. Jesse McPherson, in an attempt to take a shot at Canadians, was saying, after you scare people, do you say A? But he spelled it A-Y-E, which is some combination of the sound that an Australian makes and a pirate makes. But we say A-E-H. So there you go, Jesse.
We can't even spell A.
Hey, we say we're very sorry. We're very sorry we did that.
Yeah, sorry, sorry, we scared you. Shh. Sorry. Don't be scared.
Us Southerners don't say y'all after we scare them.
This is another part of our haunt. This is in the side yard. This is a medical chair and Crazy Francis. He was creepy.
Where'd you get that chair? Is that something you guys made yourself,
No.
or is that another little
Somebody
crisis
donated.
up there?
Somebody donated it.
Wow.
That was in a movie set. We
Yeah,
actually
Yeah.
donated or rented it out to a movie that
Nice.
was being filmed here for, well, I don't know what it was, but anyway,
So that must have been one of your haunters then.
The helpers.
The whole 30 of them.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Oh, you got hearses too? Oh,
Hate
man.
Canadians.
You know what? The Hearst Club,
Even hers even.
yeah, the Edmonton Hearst Club showed up on the Halloween night, and that's just a shot of our stilt walker, with the hearses in the background. And he's like this guy, Matt. His name is Matt. He is 6'7" before the stilts.
Good.
Damn.
Yeah.
Damn.
In stilts, he's close to 10 feet.
Wow.
He was awesome. He's so good.
And I'm guessing one more actor.
That's Hugh.
That's me.
Oh, that's you.
And then there's Knox too in the background.
We have a doppelganger.
We have
Yeah.
doppelganger,
We have
yeah.
two of them, so Hugh can actually troubleshoot.
Yeah. Well, and it works out because we have the guy in the background will be doing the queue line, and then I'll be in the haunt, and they'll go, "Shit,
What
how'd
the
you do that?
fuck?"
How'd you get in here so
Yeah.
fast?"
That's
Quick.
cool.
Yeah.
All right. So we'll move on over to Nate. Nate,
Moving
while
to
I
Nate.
try to get.
You still
I
with us?
gotta follow that up. Well, shit.
Hey, well, Nate, hey, do some shine real quick. I do one with you.
All right, here we go.
Hey, I got me my own bottle of shine just for you.
Yeah. What kind is yours? We got to compare.
I got some watermelon going on here.
Mine's creamsicle.
No,
Mine's straight up.
Dude, it is so good too. It's just like a creamsicle popsicle. Dude. It's so good.
All right, well, everybody in the world bought the T-Rex from Home Depot, and I decided to buy one as well, but I didn't have a place for it in the hunt, so I made a photo op in front of my garage, and it actually worked out really well. And so I built a little bench for people to sit on, put the giant fucking skulls on there, and
I thought you said I built a little bitch.
It's family friendly.
yeah. And surprisingly, everybody, I didn't have to tell them it was a photo op. Everybody just started sitting down and taking pictures. It was actually really cool.
Oh, that's awesome.
The shadows are great behind on the garage. That's pretty cool.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was just a straight up photo op, had nothing to do with the hunt. It was just there.
Great pic with the moon up there too.
Okay, now this one is actually taken from reverse. You actually enter in on the other side, but this is my little living room scene, if you will, and nothing but a bunch of stuff. I just wanted to fill it with stuff. And over in the corner, yes, those are all empty wine bottles. And there is another one in the opposite corner. Nope.
So as you mentioned them, so you drank the wine bottles, is that what you're saying?
You got those from the neighbor.
Ex-girlfriend. She drank it. It was about a year. Every time she drank a bottle, I was like, I'll keep it. And I probably got about 100 wine bottles.
Like I said, Haunter, not Hoarder.
There you go.
It's a fine line. We walk a fine line.
Yes, we do.
Walking
but yeah, I love that picture, even though it was taken from the opposite direction from where you enter.
That's a great picture.
Hey, what is that matter that it's taken from the opposite direction? Why does that bug you?
I don't know. It just does. It just does. I'm like, damn it! It wasn't taken from the direction you enter.
You took the picture?
No. A friend of mine took it, but it came out so great that it's just like everything was there.
So it's
I love
it.
Really
it's
well.
a good thing.
It's awesome, Nate. It's beautiful.
Yeah, Nate, I definitely like it because of the pictures in the bottom left corner, how the faces are like brightened up because of the light shining in.
Totally.
I just think it adds like a creepy effect to it. That's pretty cool.
Hey, Phil. So just that it bugs him so much, I want to know what the other view was, because I'm thinking it's like it'd be like way better. Dude.
Yeah.
Where's the other view, dude? You know
There it is, Jose.
What's the other side
That's what it
of
really
it?
looked like.
Because he's like, I didn't like that. I'm like, well, I want to see the other side then, the cool side. It looked good how it was.
Now this one was my little redneck shack that I had. It's just the flesh lines, not flashlight, flesh lights. Or whatever they call it. They are.
Man. He's all talking sexual. What are you doing? Nate, what are you doing?
That would be a pretty
straight cats.
That would be a pretty intimidating room in a house.
Not a rated X show. This is like a show.
You walked in and it was just all sex toys in the room.
This ain't a sex show. This is like
throw some slutty balls in there.
Now the really cool thing about this room was the whole room was my backyard is slanted more than I realized, but believe it or not, the shelves are level.
Wow!
But the whole room wasn't, and it really messed with people.
How much drinking had you done when you built this room?
A lot.
And did your neighbors just say, "Yes, level, man"?
For me.
But I tell you what, when I was taking it, when I was taking it down, I was like, "Holy shit, this thing is sturdy." And that's
awesome.
back in the
Where's this
day.
banana?
And if you look over to his, I don't know, you can see the drop panel is actually down in this picture. I don't know why, but it was down. But that was in the shed. Just the good blood, guts, gore section, just body parts, gore, and
dude, that's an awesome prop. Where'd you get that from?
Yeah, it's really cool.
That's from Dapper Cadaver. That's Mr. Pincher.
Dude, that's awesome.
Yeah,
I love how you have your "My Beloved" tombstone in the top there. I don't know if you guys can read that, but it says it right here. "My beloved tombstones."
Well, I used to, well, when the lights are off, you can't even see that shit.
Hey, you know why? And that's why we got Phil.
He knows that.
Call your ass out.
Scrutinizes the details.
Yeah. Oh, I see another Reaper.
Another gargoyle.
Gargoyle.
What's that, Ryan? What's that, Ryan? Do you see my gargoyle, Ryan?
Gargoyle envy.
Now, actually, this room was pretty cool. When you walked in, and now this is, of course, taking daylight, but when you walked in, I had a trigger trigger to where it would hit the lights, but it was like on about a 2-second delay. So you walk into complete darkness, and the lights came on for about 3 seconds, and then they went back off.
Yeah,
and so they didn't have enough time to get through, but they could see where they needed to go.
Right,
so
right. That's
really
awesome.
That's a good idea.
Nate, hey, Nate, did you corpse them yourself?
Oh, yeah. Yep. Those are all corpsed little cheapo posing stays.
Yeah, they're never cheap, bro. But you know what? That's real, they fucking look awesome. That's a nice job.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, they do.
And this is back on the other side of the leaning house, whatever you want to call it, with the flash lines on the other side.
Flashlight.
Yeah.
Flashlight. That's weird.
Okay. Now this one was in. This is inside the shed. As you can see behind Mr. Pincher right there, slice and dice chick. My neighbor actually came over when he, my little bit of help I did have, and he just started hooking all the little plastic chains and hooks up, and he was like, "How's this looking?" I'm like, "Let's roll with it."
Stay there. You look good.
Yeah, it was. I like. She's cool.
Darren
Okay,
Pence
now
wants to know
all-
how much hot glue did it take to make those skull candles?
Now, how much? What?
Hot glue did it take to make those skull candles?
Which skull candles?
I don't know. I'm just reading the questions I'm seeing here.
I didn't see any skull. There are probably actual candles.
So the answer is none. He didn't use any.
No,
that's a great haunt. That's a great haunt, Nate. Haunt.
Oh yeah, there we go. I like it. There you go.
Damn it!
Now once again,
it took a lot of.
All right, I'm going with the shine.
Oh, okay.
Did you make that rat?
Okay,
Did you make that rat?
That rat.
No. That's a Unit 70 urn dog there. On top of a bunch of skulls from old time pottery. But now all the skulls on the walls and on the columns, minus the giant ones, were from Nightmare
Makers. Hey,
I think that should have
our
been
sponsor of Hunter's Hangout.
Oh, I love the entrance here, Nate. This is awesome.
Yeah, it's very good.
Now, behind the two skulls right there on the top, I had my upshot, the geysers, and when they walked about 6 feet before the entrance, it would fire those geysers off to where it looked like flames coming out of the back of them, and that was my entrance. Pretty cool, I thought.
Awesome.
They were awesome. They were really cool.
Very cool.
And once again, I did not have 30 people to help me.
Like the Canadians.
Again.
Okay.
Ow.
So I'm the electrician. I am the builder. I am the designer.
So are we.
I am the actor.
Okay. Well, sucks to be you, Nate.
Hey,
Person
Brent,
has to lug it all around.
what's your feeling on the whole situation?
Who,
With the
who, me?
Canadian haunters, like 30 people helping and all that shit. What's your take on it?
Oh, well, I mean, I had a lot of people helping at the time, and I appreciated it. But I know lots of Canadian hunters who don't have any help at all, who just do it themselves. I think it's more just how much people like you, really.
It's how much beer and pizza you give them.
That's really what it is, actually. Yeah.
You need to cook more barbecue, Nate.
I'm doing moonshine and barbecue, and this is some bullshit.
hey, Nate brought everybody barbecue, so if anybody don't help Nate, then there's something wrong with your ass.
True statement.
So, Brent, I got to ask you, in the picture here, is this a geyser in the background that you have going?
It is, yeah. Yeah, that was a pneumatic zombie fence, and we had a geyser going behind it. Shooting up a flame with a bunch of oil drums.
Nice. Did the fence actually move too when people would walk by and everything, or was it just the zombies would move behind it?
No, there was a pneumatic piston on the fence that would cause the zombies to move. And then that dude on the left is one of those Spider Hill prop work swaying zombie. Type dudes. So the guys that are holding onto the fence would move back and forth, kind of jerking on it like they were trying to bust out.
Yep.
And then the guy on the left was just swaying.
Yeah. Very nice.
Right. I was pretty impressed with, like, when I went to the website that you had put in descriptions, and I looked at it, and like you had like a pretty extensive, like, your whole thing was like had the whole haunt nice and slow and showed every single thing. I'm like, oh my god, this is like the best video of a haunt that I've ever seen.
Well, thank you. Well, it's Idaho. What else are you gonna do?
I mean, you literally like went through every little step. Like people like walk through their haunts and they're like, okay, this is this and this. You know, you just went through like real slow and like did the whole thing. I'm like, man, this is freaking awesome.
Yeah, thanks. This dude he's actually a motorized prop, and man, I'm starting to like motorized props so much better than pneumatics. This guy gave me no trouble. Super easy to build, super inexpensive. Just a wiper motor and a bunch of PVC. Could not have been easier. That mask is from Twisted Toy Box. That's Dead Nate Grantham from Creep Show.
Awesome.
But that guy was
on it. So you just used a wiper motor and then pretty much just like had them like lift up and drop down, had the arms that moved.
Yep. It's the Spider Hill design. Yeah. So super easy. Yeah. Thanks.
Nice effect.
That's a great picture.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Cool looking.
Yeah. Very cool.
Yeah, I love that. What'd you use to cover the chest area and everything? What is that? Is that mud or like a
web?
That is cotton batting and liquid latex and gel stain.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Very
yeah.
cool.
And
that's all. Oh, that's it.
Yeah. That's it.
I always think when I see people make cool shit, I'm like, oh, it's gotta be simple, and there's like it's like all kinds of crazy shit, and they're like, oh, it's just like this and that. I'm like, damn it, did it simple?
Oh, that's
all.
Okay.
Like, like Brad makes this shit, and it's like you think it's like, oh, it's a simple thing. It's like, no, it's not simple. Damn it.
Unobtainium and
he like makes cool stuff, but it takes a lot of steps.
Well,
they do it so quick. And
what else are you gonna do in Idaho? We got a bunch of
very cool.
Damn it!
But no, it was pretty easy. I forgot to mention there's permablood too. On the blood stains.
There you go.
But yeah,
just whip one up tomorrow.
I feel like that's a good way to hold the hair in place. Is it on top of the skull too, holding the hair in place?
It is. Yeah. So
That's
I use
really good.
I used some silicone and some super glue to hold the hair in, and then just covered it with some more liquid latex and cotton batting and gel stain and permablood, and it's just a big goofy mess.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, but so simple. Move on, Phil.
Okay.
It's a static prop. It's no big deal.
Yeah. Now what's going on in this room here?
So this is as you get your spiel about the haunted asylum and how you can see the dead people in the mirrors, this is where you actually entered the corridors of the haunt. And so that blue tinted picture is the drop panel, the pneumatic drop panel that you saw before.
Right.
And from there, you started going down a corridor. We had a pneumatic old lady that would pop out of you from behind some closet doors. We had a manual drop panel. So that's where the fun began. There was about 600 square feet of it indoors and about 2,500 square feet outdoors. We had a bunch of 10 by 20 black tents, and man, it was a bear to put up, and half of it's still up. So after 3 weekends. Yeah.
Awesome. Is this another pneumatic prop?
Yeah. So that was a corpse that was embedded in a stone wall. And there was a motion sensor, so when people walk by, it would actually kind of slide out of the casing in the wall.
Yeah.
So
it's good lighting.
Yeah.
I like the lighting.
I love that.
Thank you. And that's just a scissor mechanism. Again, a motion sensor. People would walk by, and that dude would pop out of them.
Yeah. It's a great photo.
Yeah.
Good out.
Yeah,
Thank you. Thank you.
I love how you
Thank
use
you.
the camo netting to hide, hopefully, the mechanism and everything.
Yeah. So this girl is the corpse that was behind the pneumatic drop panel. So when the pneumatic drop panel would drop the portrait, a strobe light would flash, and she would sway back and forth and scream really loud. And actually, I didn't build that
mask.
Yeah, actually, that's a prop head that I got from somebody on Etsy. It's supposed to be the bicycle girl from The Walking Dead, and I just loved it. So I made a prop out of it.
Cool.
Yeah, thanks.
The things you put in your haunt.
Drink, come on, let's do my part for the team.
Drink.
Oh, I love that. I love the
This is awesome.
overlay.
Yeah, so I just had a really one of my friends used to do a haunt in West Virginia, and he sent me his projector. He's done. He's like, hey, I have a kick-ass projector. I'm going to mail it to you. And so I used his projector to project blood walls on the outside of the house.
Awesome.
Yeah, that blew me away.
So cool.
Thank you.
I mean, everything's really cool. And then, like, if you go to like the descriptions that we put in the intro and on this video, shows everybody's haunt and all their websites and videos and stuff. So definitely go check them out, because I watched this and this is very cool. I watched everybody's and they're all really great. Shows their whole haunt.
For
Yeah,
real.
I thought that was some kind of CGI shit. I didn't know that was actual projector. That's cool.
That is that's just Atmos Effects blood wall projection.
That's
And
awesome. Yeah,
wait, if you have a good projector, you can go super big, because the quality of their product is really good.
it is.
That's
yeah.
cool.
Yeah. Thanks.
Well done.
Okay,
Thank you.
stealing another idea from you.
We all are.
I'm sure I'm not the first person who's ever done that, so go ahead. No worries.
Brad, we get any more questions?
We got lots of them, but I have to be up at 4 a.m, so I'm going to invite everybody to.
Fuck you guys.
All
We're
about you,
gone.
Brad.
I'm going to invite everybody to all the guests to go through the questions. No, there's lots of questions, but there's lots of them that are named at the home panel. So please go through the questions if you get time and look through them. And thanks everybody tonight for your questions.
Yeah.
Right. Hey, definitely go back and go through all the questions and throughout the whole feed and.
Oh my God.
Okay, all right.
Someone said haunt too many times.
Oh, party foul drink.
Did you give me yours?
Phil, you need a drink. Do a drink.
Yeah, I don't
whatever you did.
Now
All right.
I'll have to go through the questions tomorrow afternoon when I get off work, because there's no way I'll be able to go through it tonight.
Right. Well, hey, the biggest thing is Jamie going through the prize winners tonight.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hey,
Oh,
so
crap, that's
get
the
so get your clapping hands together, guests, and
Hey, and here you go, guys, to the great first show of the season. Let's bring it on, boys.
yeah, first season.
Haunt.
It's so good, man. I hate that.
By the way, on.
You just picked them.
All right, we ready to do these winners?
All right, Miss Huggins, let's do it.
Okay. Now, if I call your name or butcher your name, as the case may be, send me a private message on Facebook, and we will hook you up with your prize.
Jamie, can I make one request? Can we do the ornaments first? I need to know who's going to win the ornaments.
I'm sorry, Brad. I must have had microphone difficulties. What were you asking?
It's the ornaments. That's what I'm asking about.
How do you say it? How do you say that word?
Ornaments.
No, I think it's hookerments, isn't it? It's hookerments.
Well, Megan Larson, congratulations. You won them, whatever they're called.
Hey, don't be knocking our sponsors.
No, they're awesome.
They are
It's an awesome name. So we've talked about it all night. Apparently, it's working.
I have a bunch of them, so.
So do I.
We have a few. So yeah, they're great product.
Okay,
Ornaments.
and
Okay, hey, everybody needs to contact.
We're making fun of Jamie, not the sponsor.
For your prizes, do not contact me.
who's Amy?
You sure it's not Julie?
I did not say Julie. I did not say Julie.
Okay, if you can't find me, you don't get a prize.
Right. All right.
Okay,
Throw it out there.
let's do
Throw
this
it out
thing.
there.
Okay.
All right.
So the mask from Face Factory FX goes to Bruce Janzer. Yay!
Someone's got some sound effects.
All right, Sinful Audio goes to David Cowger. The gallon of fog juice from Froggy's Fog is Janet Bates. Okay, the haunter hanging.
Too. That was a horse one.
The haunter hanging wall sign is Courtney Jean Rorick. And don't forget, everyone wins the 50% off from Sam Haynes if you go to his site and type Haunters in all capital letters.
Even the guest win. Even the guest
Or the other promo code, ornaments.
The realistic looking awesome skull from Nightmare Makers goes to Maximus Christian Bryant. The Hollywood FX alcohol airbrush makeup from I Love FX Makeup goes to Michael Laser. Thank you. I suck at this game. Okay, the pair of exotic lenses, Mary Fettner.
Mary.
The Fright Props brain beanie, Bruce Janzer.
Oh, you already won once already. He gets twice. He gets two.
Ask a lot of questions. You can maybe win twice.
Look, he won twice. It's all how it turns out.
The luck of the draw, man. The luck of the draw.
Luck of the draw. Luck of the draw. Awesome, Bruce.
Okay, your choice of one of four knives, one knife. You get one knife out of four choices from Hardcore Fabrications goes to J.C. Smith.
Yeah.
I know. I don't want to. Is that all of them?
Nope, we're not done.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I still have prizes here. The webcaster gun from Matthew Miller was won by Lydia Rossi.
Yay! Send some socks with it.
Send us some socks. Send us some socks with it.
And last but not least, our final prize of the night is the 4 DVD set from Richard Bureau, and that goes to Aaron L. Pence.
Yay!
All right, so if I called your name out, please send me a message on Facebook, and I will get back to you on how to get your prize.
Right,
and then
do not message me.
one other point before we go. I don't want to give away free sponsorship because we have all our paying sponsors here. But if you look at my screen right now, there is actually a ornament that you can buy. And they're available for $5, double-sided plastic ornaments. So, Jamie, even though you coined that phrase in our hearts, you don't get to get rich off that idea.
Well, yes, I do, actually, because those are all pictures of me. Thank you very much.
All right, girl.
Don't pay Lady Brent. Come on.
Oh my God.
No wonder you got stalkers.
Oh my goodness.
We definitely want to thank all the guests that came out. You guys were awesome. Your haunts were amazing.
What?
Thank you, dude.
I love the haunts. You know what I'm saying? It's like all the sponsors that come out and they support the Hangout. I mean, you can't definitely go to them when you want to buy haunt stuff. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's like they're
go to them.
Very good, Phil. Very good.
Yeah. No, sorry.
Everybody blow on it all at once.
How about you fucking pay attention?
I am paying attention.
He's like, my job's done.
Yeah.
What happened to Jose? Did he have a stroke or just?
I was letting you guys get done with what you were doing. So it's paying through you guys and stuff. I was like, you get done. It's like,
We're praising Phil. He made a thing.
All right, definitely, like, you know, all our sponsors come out, give tons of prizes,
For sure.
and they do it like for free. So make sure you go to any time that you like buy haunt stuff, go to them for all your needs and stuff. And
like, dude, Nightmare Makers.
Yeah, Nightmare Makers too.
No, definitely go to our sponsors are very kind to us.
Yeah,
and
they
so
are.
go to them first.
Yeah,
If you're looking for prostitute themed ornaments, in which case I gave you the website for that.
Right. That's true.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we want to thank everybody for coming on. You guys were great, and you know, all the drinking. And I think it's Nate's fault because everybody's scared now because he made like the haunt drink.
Did everybody have a good time? Did everybody have a good time?
So if I'm like fucking stuttering and all that shit,
Jose, you're almost at the finish line, man. Just crawl across that finish line.
All I gotta say is
You just gotta say goodnight, buddy, and you can go to bed.
no. All you gotta say is
Brad. Good night. Hold up, wait.
Haunt on!
Hey, we are gonna post the chat tonight. So if you want to get on, I will put the link in the descriptions for you to jump on. And rowdy, first show, bye.
Look out for any
Haunt
bananas.
on!